Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is just under a week away, and whether you play the original back in 2013 or it's your first time with Edward Kenway, there's a lot going on with this remake that you're going to want to know before you dive on in. A full visual rehaul, rebuild gameplay systems, expanded story content, and some major changes from the original. If you're looking to jump into the new Black Flag Resynced, then here are 10 things you need to know before diving in. Alright, starting this thing off, let's start off with the visual side of things because Black Flag Resynced is a ground up rebuild. It runs on the latest version of Ubisoft's Anvil engine, the same one used for Assassin's Creed Shadows, with ray tracing lighting, global illumination, reflections, and on console a 60 FPS performance option the original never actually had. But beyond the frame rate, how the world itself behaves is what really stands out. The Caribbean environment reacts in real time using the Anvil Atmos system. Sails respond to the wind, objects break on impact, and coconuts roll during storms. It's the kind of details that make the world feel alive in a way that the 2013 version simply couldn't. Long story short, the graphical and technical improvements have improved significantly. If you loved the world before, you're gonna love it even more with these massive changes. Now, combat has always been the center of any Assassin's Creed title, and for Black Flag Resynced, that has been rebuilt from the ground up. And the goal was straightforward: make it feel like you're actually a pirate. The foundation is a new parry-driven system, so fights are more deliberate now, sliding your counters open up takedowns, rope dart combos, and pistol moves in a way that feel reactive. They also added a brand new enemy type called the Demolist that disrupts the flow of fight and forces you to adapt. If the 2013 combat felt like you were just holding the counter button and watching Edward clean house, then this version has a lot more friction to it, and I mean that in a very good way. Parkour is one of those things where the original was functional but aged noticeably, and Black Flag Resynced addresses most of that. The focus was on responsiveness. Landing animations are cleaner, Edward recover faster, and movement chains more continuously. Advanced parkour returns with full anvil tech from Shadows, so you have side ejects and back eject from most heights. A manual jump has also been added for more direct control, and ziplines are now scattered across the city to bridge larger vertical distances. It's a much smoother experience, especially if you play Shadows or Mirage recently and then tried going back to some of the more original titles. One of the most significant changes coming with Black Flag Resynced is the stealth being overhauled. The Observe feature lets you highlight enemies and objectives before you commit to engaging, so you're going into situations with more information than you used to have. Edward can crouch at any time now, and while this may seem like a very small thing, this wasn't in the original, and it ties directly into the visibility system. This lowers your detection range at medium and longer distances. The light and darkness actually matters too. Enemies are slower to spot you at night. And on top of that, the blowpipe is back with Berserk and Sleep Darts, and the Smoke Bomb return as both an offensive and an escape tool. And there's even new mechanics that let Edwards dive from basically anywhere to approach ships and coastlines without breaking stealth. Naval combat was already one of the best and more unique parts of the original Black Flag, so the question was what to do to improve it without breaking what made it work. First off, there's going to be 3 new officers that can join the Jackdaw: Lucy Baldwin, the Padre, and Deadman Smith, each bringing a specific ability to naval engagements. New secondary weapons are also in as well: shrapnel barrels that shred enemy cells on detonation, and 8-pounders that crack open additional weak points in the hull. Enemy ships have faction-specific loadouts now, so encounters feel less repetitive the more you play. And Kenway's fleet is managed from the captain's cabin this time, giving you a passive income loop from captured ships. And there are also 10 new shanties added to the original roster. One of the biggest changes coming to Black Flag Resynced is the expanded story. Ubisoft has added brand new content on top of Edward's campaign that wasn't in the 2013 release. The largest piece being Blackbeard, who gets 8 additional missions unlocking at the start of the final sequence. Matt Ryan is actually back as Edward with newly recorded lines, and the full original cast returned to record the new scenes as well. The players has been reworked with unique encounters and better rewards. There's also a brand new scene built around Bartholomew Roberts that the creative director specifically flagged for returning fans. If you were already a fan of the original story, then Resynced should be expanding on what makes Black Flag such a compelling story. Now, this one is going to be the most divisive change in the entire package, but the Abrigo section from the original, where you played as a nameless employee in the first-person office, are completely gone. What's replaced these are rifts scattered across the Caribbean framed as what-if scenarios for Edward specifically. Things like what if Edward chose greed over his family. They are optional and you have to seek them out, and according to Ubisoft, they should be more narrative focused than what they did with that format in the previous game. Now, the creative director's reasoning was that Desmond's story was already wrapped up before the original Black Flag launch, so holding on to the Abergo framework didn't really make sense for when the series is now. Some of the narrative is still referenced in the rewritten section, but the playable modern day is gone. One of the biggest changes coming to Black Flag Resynced is the ability to have full control over difficulty through a completely customizable system. Instead of one global setting, you can adjust difficulty independently across 4 categories: naval, ground, stealth, and activity. So if you want brutal naval combat and a more forgiving ground game, that's a completely valid setup. Expert difficulty from shadows is also available as well, tightening parry windows and making combat more punishing across the board. And advanced parkour and manual jumps are separate toggles too, so players who don't want the deeper traversal systems aren't forced into them. Long story short, there's tons of customization options for difficulty modes, and you can kind of tailor the game to how you like it. Now, Black Flag Resynced comes in at $59.99 for the standard edition, with a deluxe edition and collector's edition also available. It's on PlayStation 5, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series X and S, and PC through the Ubisoft Store, Epic Games Store, Steam, and Steam Deck. And if you're already on Ubisoft Plus, it's included. Streaming is also supported through NVIDIA GeForce Now and Black Nut. Finally, the release date and download size. Black Flag Resynced launches on July the 9th, 2026 on PC, and the download size sits at 65 gigs and a SSD is required. So make sure you have the space cleared before launch day. Console storage size hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but plans around a similar footprint. And there you have it. That's 10 things you need to know before jumping into Black Flag Resynced. Whether you're a returning fan or experiencing Edward's story for the first time, there's clearly a lot of new ground to discover alongside the story you already know. And now you should have a much clearer picture of what to expect when the game launches on July the 9th. Let me know down in the comments what you're looking forward to trying out the most or just experience. And if you appreciate the work that goes into these videos, make sure to leave me a like, or better yet, subscribe to the channel. With that said, my name is Fervor. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.